Hey guys, this is Jeff and Alexis, and today we are coming to you with the first episode of the Sorta Healthy podcast. And yeah, today we are going to be talking about our journeys as personal trainers. We went from not being successful at all to being pretty successful. And we're not here to brag, just here to share our stories.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be a good time.
And I think some of these topics that we'll be talking about on this podcast, they're going to be maybe a little bit more fun than what we typically talk about in the YouTube. I don't know.
It's all fun, isn't it?
I think it's all fun. So do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Well, I feel like for my story to take place in some ways, like you have to go first.
Where to start? I feel like when you're getting into personal training, you get into it for a few different reasons. Maybe you are someone who has lost a lot of weight or become super fit, and you feel like you can help other people, achieve a similar goal. Spoiler, but that will be your story, at least to some extent. Not my story. I just really thought exercise science was cool. It was something I got really into in high school doing sports. I wasn't amazing. I was just an okay athlete, but I don't know. I found myself super interested in creatine and protein and caffeine, and I don't know how those things affected my performance, and I was just an exercise nerd. For me, that's how I got started. Went to college for computer science, hated it. It was the most boring, silly thing for me to do personally. Switched to exercise science, really enjoyed that. Started personal training basically freshman year of college, and yeah, it's been an interesting journey since then. A lot of ups and downs, and started kind of working at a few different places. My first fitness job ever was just kind of working at the front desk at some random gym in my hometown. Did that for about a year. While I was doing that, I was kind of chatting with all the trainers that were there, shadowing a whole bunch of them. Worked out really well because I built up some good connections. And then eventually I got a training job at a nice facility, a pretty high-end facility, reasonably far away, but it was still, close enough to commute to. So I worked at that facility for 5 years. I was there for a long time. That's really where I learned how to be a trainer. And actually, while I was working there, I got another job at the YWCA, which was, like 15, 20 minutes away. I would say a year or two after that, I was training clients in their homes. So I would pack up my bag filled with bands, dumbbells, a whole bunch of different gizmos and gadgets, and I would bring equipment into people's houses. I had 3 jobs, and there was probably a time period, and that's somewhere around the time where I met you, right? Had 3 training jobs at once, that private studio, the YWCA, training people in their own homes. Yeah, did that combination for at least 2-3 years. And that's really where I became comfortable as a trainer. Didn't really matter where I was, who I was training. Pretty much could train just about anybody at that point. Did that for a little while. Eventually had enough money saved up to buy my own house, which I bought a duplex where I lived on one side. You moved in shortly after. And we trained clients in the other side. Did that for about a year, outgrew it pretty fast. And then after that, we moved into our studio that we're in now. And now we're actually looking to expand potentially again. It has been a long journey of not being able to pay my bills initially, being pretty much dead broke, to now being quite successful, we'll say. YouTube was something I started kind of along the way. Our studio was closed for a few months during COVID, so that gave me an opportunity to kind of get the ball rolling there. I knew there wasn't enough good personal training education out there, saw that need, and that's why this podcast exists, because we still feel like there's a need that we can help.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why did you start your own business instead of working for someone else?
Wish you had asked me that before. I would have rambled a little bit less. Money is the biggest reason, but I also think too, like I saw ways in which that business was run, even though if we're talking that fitness studio that I was at for 5 years, that was a pretty well run business, but there were just things that I thought could have been, run better or different. And I just wanted to try it. I kind of knew I would never forgive myself if I, never gave it my best shot. So yeah, It was just something I felt compelled to do.
And it worked out for you.
You know, it's going okay. It's going all right. It's going okay. We're paying our bills. We're making some good money. We're having fun. I don't want to brag, but you know, we brag a little bit.
I mean, you can
we're
brag a
pretty
little bit.
successful.
That's the whole point. That's
we
right.
could
No, I'm
run. We
kidding.
could run multiple locations at this point.
We could.
I think you know we may soon.
We may
find the right spot.
It was off the table for a minute, but I feel like it's back on the table now.
Yeah, this is something we'll be talking about in future episodes. We switched our studio to a more semi-private personal training model not too long ago. That was almost a year ago now. And our business is doing like way better than ever. And it wasn't
Way
even
better.
doing badly before, but like we're doing pretty well. We don't even have to work there that much.
No,
It's great.
that's why we get to do this.
I'm making YouTube videos. We're making podcasts. We're doing all kinds of cool stuff. Anyways, enough about me. Let's talk about you.
Well, I feel like my story is very opposite of yours in that like you did sports and like were totally into fitness and liked exercise and all that stuff. And my story starts out of not being interested in exercise at all and being morbidly obese. My journey is that I lost 90 pounds through just diet and exercise, right? Changing my diet and exercise, learning about nutrition, learning about fitness, and then really just fell in love, so to speak, with the process of health and fitness. I think the way that you can manipulate things to get a desired result was really fascinating to me. After I lost weight, I continued to play with that. I did spinning certification. I did a CrossFit certification. I did a lot of CrossFit. I ran a half marathon. I sort of ran a marathon. I was into all sorts of different types of fitness. When I met you, I was doing like some, we'll say basic online coaching and then also some CrossFit coaching. I'll talk about our opening Bumble conversation where you were like, I'm a gym owner. And I was like, I want to own a gym or work at a gym.
Kind of a lie now that I'm thinking about it.
Well, it was a little bit of a lie, but that's
like,
right.
That's a salesman at work right there. It's like a half truth.
Literally, I was like, it's my dream to own a gym. And you were like, I own one. But
literally, it was just like a few rooms in my house. In
at
fairness,
that point, it wasn't even rooms in your house. You were like not even started yet.
it worked out, guys. Guys, it worked out. I got the girl, got the studio. It worked out.
It worked
well.
out. But that is where my personal training journey starts, right? In the sense that I met you and I got my certification and started training people out of our then house because I had moved in with you and quit my job. I was a teacher. I quit my job teaching. At that time, I was teaching part-time, kind of grew the studio. And then we moved. And then we both worked there full-time since, 2020?
Yeah.
We've both been full-time employees. It's been going ever since. And now we don't spend as much time in the studio, which is good because I feel like we can finally work on our business instead of in our business.
Can we talk about the time, like, super early on where you were shadowing me at that studio that I used to work at,
Yeah.
and we lied? What did we say?
Okay, so Jeff was working at the studio and I wanted to shadow to see if like I actually wanted to be a personal trainer. And Jeff, if you watch Jeff's videos, you know that he is a big fan of people shadowing trainers before they like jump into the career, right?
It's a fact.
So I'm pretty sure we pretended that I was like your mom's friend's daughter or something. And I think I even had did I have a fake name?
I don't remember what your fake. You know, we should have just been honest.
No, I think I had my regular name.
I don't know why we did that.
Because you were nervous because you had been telling people, if you're a trainer, right, you know that you talk to your clients about what's going on in your life sometimes, right? They ask you questions. And I remember you had been like telling people that you were dating someone new and you didn't want them to like know that that was me.
Right.
Or for your boss to think
Yeah.
that you were bringing me in there. You were just like a little bit like nervous because,
We said you were one of my client's daughters, is what we said.
oh, I thought it was your mom's friend, but whatever.
And
Same
meanwhile,
gist.
you were just my girlfriend who wanted to be a trainer.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
We didn't want to. My manager was cool. He wouldn't have cared.
He wouldn't have cared.
Like,
I
now
think it
that
was
I'm-
more your clients.
Now that I'm thinking about it, like we should have just been honest.
It worked out.
You shadowed.
No,
you
and I liked it and I became a trainer. Before I met you, I had no idea what like a studio personal trainer was like. I had seen personal trainers at the gym and then I had been a CrossFit coach, right? But that's a much different vibe than like a studio.
I would say like opposite.
Well, and even a gym trainer, I feel like is a little bit different of a vibe than a one-on-one studio trainer. So
Yeah. Yep.
it's been almost what? 8 years.
We've been
8 years,
training for so long.
right?
Yeah.
Well, you've been training for a long time, but
Yeah.
I think I've been there, almost 8 years.
I'm at like 13 years. Holy shit.
And it's crazy because the business has just continued to grow.
Yeah. And the YouTube channel has continued to grow and become its own thing. And we're fortunate to love everything we do.
We do. Nowadays, right, that we do work more on the business than we do work in the business. I feel like we have to not forget the period of time where both of us were working like 60 plus hours
Oh my God.
in the studio.
Yeah.
So like that is training clients 50 to 60 hours a week in the studio. So like there was a lot of work that went into getting to this point for both of us, where both of us were, I guess, grinding is actually the only word to use, because again, 50 plus hours of being with clients a week is a lot.
Yeah. And you know, if we're being honest, we were doing that up until fairly recently. Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe like 2 years ago.
Yeah, we've had a good staff for a little while now. And
Yeah.
that is the other thing too. The overarching mission of this podcast is going to, and you know, YouTube channel in general. For people who watch the YouTube, you already know this, but it's to make you guys better trainers and potentially better, you know, fitness business owners as well. Anyways, it has been a journey, and the level of success we're at now, it's a pretty recent thing for us, is what you're saying. It's 100% true.
Yeah, I'm saying it took us a while to get to this point.
Long time. Yeah.
Like we've been grinding for a long time, you know?
However, and I think this is another reason why we felt compelled to do this podcast now. There are things that we have learned, I think, within the last year, maybe 2 years, where like if we knew that stuff before, we could have really like progressed a lot faster.
100%. And I think that is like part of what you put into YouTube, and again what we'll put in this podcast, right, is like all the stuff that like you've learned that maybe we should have done sooner. But you got to learn by trial by fire.
It is definitely like a big part of what I put onto YouTube, but also I feel you're half the business. Actually, you guys don't even know.
I'm more than half the business.
She runs more of the in-person studio than I do, and that allows me to have a whole separate business on YouTube. Because she does run more of the studio. I mean, we both have our tasks that we do. We both collaborate on pretty much everything. Every decision we make is a two-person decision in the studio. But still, when it comes to the management, the day-to-day, yeah, it's mostly you.
We're going to talk about that on this podcast too, like running a business as husband and wife, because I feel like people have questions about that and are interested in that aspect, which you don't talk about or haven't talked about on the YouTube channel. So I feel like that'll be an interesting topic when we get to that.
As you might imagine, for the most part, it's great, but there are some strategies that you need to figure out, I think, pretty early on. And some aspects I think we handled well from the beginning. Others not as much. We had to kind of learn along the way. But yeah, definitely a big thing that we'll be talking about.
So I guess what we'll talk about next is the direction that we see our business / this business going in the future.
Yep.
Because I think we were very set on not ever having a second studio. We have recently been reconsidering that thought process.
Yeah. And I think also, you know, we have no plans of selling our personal training studio anytime soon, but that doesn't mean it's not something you shouldn't be thinking about doing at some point in the future. And if you're a client and you're watching this right now, we're not selling Commence Fitness personal training anytime in the next 5 years. I don't know about 10 years. 10 years is a long time.
10 years, we're going to be old, so we might have to sell it by then.
10 years, we might have to sell it. In 5 years, it's mine and yours. It's not going anywhere. You do have to, when you start up a fitness facility, especially in person where you have staff and you have clients and you have overhead, at some point you do have to think about selling, and you have to think about it sooner than you would think.
You should probably actually talk about this on the YouTube, but like part of the last year was us reconfiguring our business so that it is scalable and also sellable one day, because to some extent it wasn't before.
Well, it just needed us to be there at all times. And now that it doesn't need us to be there at all times, and we have other good staff that we just don't have to micromanage all the time, yeah, it's just a totally different beast. Again, we could like if we really wanted to, we could open a second location now.
Our other option is expansion, which we have been looking into, but we have very specific criteria for expansion. So if we don't find that, we won't be doing it.
The problem with running a personal training business, an in-person one obviously, is that you are so proximity based that once you already have like a pretty stable built up clientele, if you try to move to anything that's more than just like a few miles away, good luck keeping your clients. We are on the border of 2 towns right now, and we pretty much have to stay there. I mean, we like it there. It's not like we want to move anyways. No. It just limits, commercial real estate opportunities elsewhere. So we're pretty much stuck where we are.
We're really on the border of 3 towns.
True. Southington, Cheshire, and Wolcott.
Yeah. So we have a pretty good,
good.
solid spot right now. Jeff and I are shooting ourselves in the foot because the space next to us was available and we didn't take it. So, we weren't ready at that time. Everything happens for a reason. We weren't ready at that time. So
I'm just saying, if that barbershop has issues, I don't root for any business to go under. If they're having issues and they want to let us take that space over,
just knock down the wall.
Just saying, we might pop in there. Might double the size of Commence Fitness. Anyways, what's the future of this podcast, the YouTube, I don't know, the whole online presence?
100K.
100K should be soon. 100K by about the end of the year. So that'll be awesome. Super excited about that.
You can put your plaque in one of these shelves.
Dude, I want that plaque so much. I don't talk about it. I want that plaque more than like a college diploma. You know what I mean?
I was saying, we don't even have our diplomas up here. We put that plaque back here though.
Yeah, I want there's just something about it. I don't know. It's cool. Anyways, I see us doing more of the same. So just better, bigger, more. And I think some of these topics can be more conversational and fun.
I think sometimes it's nice to have multiple perspectives.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a dummy when it comes to running the business in some aspects.
That's not true.
You are better at running some.
I am better, but that's not true.
Whoa. You weren't supposed to agree.
I'm kidding. I said.
I am better.
I'm kidding. Overall, we would like to post more frequently, I guess, too, to all channels.
Yeah.
Because we have the Sorta Healthy trainer education. Now we'll have the podcast. We also have the Sorta Healthy lifestyle.
Want to get back to
which
that.
We want to get back to. And then, continuing to post on social media and all those places as well. So just, growing. Maybe Jeff will get on TikTok.
Probably not getting on TikTok. I mean, I'm on there, but I don't use it. I don't see myself dancing around a whole lot for you guys, which
you should.
It's a big loss. You guys are really sad that that's not going to happen. Yeah, I think we're going to try and present at some conferences. Yes. More information coming out on that soon. We're headed to a conference very soon, just a few days from now. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys soon. You might be listening or watching this later. Whatever, you'll see us at one of these events in the future. We're planning on doing a whole bunch. Anyways, that is all we have for today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching or listening, or maybe both. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, or if you're listening to us, leave us a review and keep listening, watching, because more of this to come. We'll see you guys soon.